Kuweka jinja nyingi. Ningeweka nyingi ingekuwa kali. All right, welcome in the house. Welcome to Lifesaga TV. Today is another moment for political analysis. Of course, things are so hot in Parliament after the president dropped a bomb yesterday on the leaders and claimed that corruption and extortion and all sorts of evils are found in the house. Okay? So, let's dive down to the real evidence. So, of course, if yesterday you watched the meeting that engaged all the politicians from Kenya Kwanza, ODM, and other parties at Karen, you saw the president and Raila Odinga actually directly dropping a bomb on politicians and saying that members of the chairman of what? The welfare are there for extortion. You know, that was a direct attack on them, right? He also indicated that there is a lot of corruption that happens in the parliament, and therefore it is high time that they do what is expected because they were chosen by people to do what's right. Now, why do you think Ruto came out saying this? Remember, Kenya has been actually under watch by different countries, including Japan. There is a key company that refused to invest in Kenya because of the rate at which corruption is being elevated in Kenya. It is also clear that any services that you require, somehow, you are forced to either give a bribe or give up on it. Okay? To maybe somebody somewhere, it may be maybe the chairperson, it may be whoever it is. So these realities have actually made a lot of investors to run away from Kenya. And to say the truth, we have investors who have diverted their attention. Like I was watching, there's a lot of investors who have run to Togo and Ghana. Not Togo, but Ghana. They have run to Ghana and they're doing a lot of things there. Though there is a company that is investing both in Ghana and Kenya, but Kenya is just being a second consideration. A lady who came from all the way from the US and decided to settle in Africa. And he was indicating that in Ghana, she was indicating she has got a very suitable environment and she's done a lot of investment in houses. If you watch my edutainment for us channel, I think you'll see that video indicating how Wodemae actually was proving to us the growth of Africa Live with Ryan Khan. Ryan Khan, are you the same who has been watching me on Edutainment for Us? I'm not so sure, but welcome to the house, and you can like the video as we just start, all right? So, the shenanigans surrounding corruption, and corruption is divided in so many things. You know, people just call it corruption as a blanket, but corruption is actually found in so many branches, including fraud. We have fraud, we have imposter, we have impersonification, we have bribery, we have deals, we have manipulation, we have nepotism, we have what we call state capture. We have even county capture, which is now happening now that we have devolved governments. And we have so many others, okay? We have so many other forms of corruption. People just think it's bribery alone, but corruption is such a large thing. And it comes in so many ways that sometimes even you may get to have nepotism where people are only employing their friends and people from their maybe clan or even sub-tribe and leaving others. We have where people ask for favors. Favors also is a sort of corruption, favoritism, where you find that maybe you are given a job based on where you come from and others will not be given. You know, some people will be given positions based on where they come from or based on their gender or based on their religious aspect, while others are left out. We have deals whereby people will actually agree. They can even underquote the price of a given product or a price of a given company just for personal benefits. We have siphoning of funds. Siphoning of funds happens where firms, actually we have the major people who are close to money, such as maybe bazaars. In schools we have principals. They just steal little by little, okay? Maybe if we have, let's say, 2 million on the account or 20 million, they take 1 million and share and then balance the books, okay? So they siphon. We have fraud, whereby somebody would actually have to use false signatures and all that, and have money transferred, and then at the end of the day there's no one to account for that. And we have so many manipulation, like you try to lie about this and do this. Sometimes they even create supplementary budgets. They say that this money is required at county level to do this, but in reality, they are not going to use that money for whatever they have stated. It will go into pockets. They even sometimes create meetings that are not supposed to be there and sign for allowances, okay? So we have so many sorts of corruption that are happening from top to the bottom. Even at institutional levels, these sorts of corruption are happening. We see people being given favors because they are bootlickers. We see them being given favors because they are, they are quiet about wrong things that are happening. They cover up. And this happens day after day, and no wonder our country is ruined and so many things are not happening right. And we have now the haves and the have-nots, okay? This is happening. So I don't know why the president had to come out yesterday at Karen and Raila, and they came out to claim that there is a lot of extortion. Extortion is also a form of corruption, all right? Where you try to maybe threaten. Some people are coming up with laws and say, if you impose this, then this will... My goodness. If you know what is happening every day in these parliaments, the parliamentarians currently are driving state-of-art vehicles, living in, in different villas and, cozy homes. They are actually, growing healthy day after day, driving to different places, flying to different countries, but they are all lying to us. Very few, and I say it, very few are doing the right thing. Very few. And the influence has been one after the other. They influence each other and do the wrong stuff, okay? I know currently maybe people are watching news, but when you get time, watch this video, subscribe to the channel and give us a like. You also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed to it. But the reality is that most things that make Africa fall behind in growth is, number one, corruption. Now that corruption is facilitated by so many things. Greed, we have the aspect of poor governance, we have the aspect of selfishness, we have the aspect of, the crowd effect, whereby people decide to do based on what others are doing. You don't do it, you become a victim and you are thrown out. Okay? So yesterday we saw Ruto himself, not any other person, Ruto himself during the current meeting. He stood up to state to all the leaders, governors, senators, and whoever it was, those who are at Karen. And they were being told clearly that the senators are actually creating a room for corruption, which I don't know how true that is, because he knows why he was saying that. He was also talking about extortion happening at chair of welfare, And he went further to talk about matters to do with the people not doing the right thing, even though they know what they have to do. He was saying that voters wake up every morning to choose the leaders because they trust them and they want the best leadership. Now, I want to tell you for sure, if you have read a book known as The Samaritan, if you have read a book known as The Samaritan, it's a political satire written by John Lara. That book talks about what Ruto was doing yesterday. Ruto was like Moya Mosi. Moya Mosi goes before teacher Nicole, a teacher of ethics, and starts to say that I am not the one who is wrong. I am not corrupt. The one who is corrupt is Seimwa. Seimwa is corrupt because he normally does this and that and that. Ted is also corrupt because he does this and that and that. Ramdai is also corrupt because he does that and that and that. So it is a blame game. Whatever Ruto was doing yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, was a blame game, actually diverting the attention of the citizens and the wrath towards the senators and other leaders in the House instead of him. Because all the time, people have been blaming him. So he's finding a reason to divert that attention so that now we begin seeing all leaders are fall, not just him. But ladies and gentlemen, if you can recall during the time of when we had these guys, both we had Makore and we had this other guy. Why am I forgetting his name? This guy from Kisii. When they were talking about corruption, they were referring to the president because he's the main person, the main person who is dancing. And the rest of them, they're just dancing the tune in duplication. Have you ever trained a dance choreography dance? You start with one dancer and the rest have to actually do the rest of what the first dancer is doing. So we consider the president as the first dancer, the main dancer who is training the rest. And the rest have to dance his tune. When he dances to the left, they dance to the left. So when we see the president coming out and trying to say that the senators are corrupt or the members of the, welfare are corrupt, where has he been all this time? He's the oversight, just like Mayor Mosi was the oversight to Ramdai, Ted, Seima, and Basdeo, and all those. And has he also been eating 2 pieces or one piece of bread, just like Mayor Mosi testified and said that I always eat 1 piece of bread or 2 and leave the rest because I'm part of the citizens. But the rest of the leaders eat the entire bread and even the wrappings. Okay, so that's the kind of politics he's trying to play, so that he can now point out that, you see, it is so and so who is in charge of this that has been eating your money in relation to approvals of construction in the city. It is so and so who has been eating all the money that is meant for the hospital. It is so and so who has been eating money meant for construction. It is so and so who has been eating money. So he mentioned yesterday a lot of things, and he said, I would have just sat and relaxed. But then, as a president, I decided to involve matters involve matters educational empowerment. I did this and that. But all that has led me into problems. That is what he said yesterday, if you listen keenly to the meeting at Karen. And Raila was there to back him up and tell the senators that you have no power to go about interrogating governors. You are the ones to oversight. Governors are there to oversight and MCS are there to manage funds at CDF, whereas senators are there to do I don't know what. That senators should not be idle enough to go around asking questions to the governors. Although they are allowed to lobby, just like USA, it happens, but they are not allowed to oversight. If you had that discussion, I listened to it carefully, but I was trying to really understand, okay? And I was wondering, why did it take this long for them to come out and say this? When already we have been rated as the most corrupt country, when the USA has had to, hold some funds like the UN funds, why did it take that long? So I took whatever move they were saying yesterday to be a political move to sanitize the top leaders. And now, currently, if you know, you know, the president has had to run to Japan, though we know that he was not required to go. Because if in the first place, the president at once said that going for a summit where we have 40 presidents and you are only given 1.5 minutes to speak is not making sense, and it does not allow you to negotiate anything. Now, let's listen to that so that you don't think that I'm just playing politics here. It is something he said at some point. So let's check here. And mark you, every time there's going to be a disaster, the president sneaks out of the government. There is a time he sneaked, that is during Sabasaba, the evening before Sabasaba. We saw his car sneaking out of the parliament and he disappeared. During the impeachment of Gachagua, the president again sneaked out of the government. I don't know whether he went to USA or something. There is another time, what was happening. There was a serious thing that was happening. He again sneaked to USA. Now he is sneaking to Japan. And people are saying he is flying or lying. Others saying, hey, I don't want to say those comments anyway. Let me just reserve them and show you the video.
Where 50 heads of state are sitting. Everybody is asked to speak to 1.5 minutes. You speak to one for 1.5 minutes. What kind of engagement are you going to get? You're going to get nothing, right? The best that you get is photographs.
Okay. If you had, you had. Okay. If you had, you had. So there is a time the President Ruto, actually came out on media and said that what is the sense of going to a summit? Because going to a summit only allows you as a president to speak for 1 minute. And there is no engagement that is actually done at that ground. There is nothing, no negotiation, no important. Now, some of you have read the book Fathers of Nations, you understand, okay? 50 heads of states had to meet in Gambia, Banjul. When the 50 heads of states met in Banjul, all they thought about is to have run away from the troubles of their countries and go have some pleasure in the land of Kunta Kinte. So the president had to carry around some of the the VIPs, and some could carry so many, some could carry so few, and they could create a lot of problem to Gambia in how to allocate them rooms. Okay, January Witch, welcome in the house. And you're saying, whom is military standing behind in the country? And how loyal is your military? Because even if normal people decide not to support the corruption anymore, military usually don't support people. Okay, I can understand you, January Witch. The reality is that the military stands in Kenya currently standing behind the president, because when you see what happened during Sabasaba and even during the demonstrations, it is very clear that they are standing behind the president and not behind the people. All right? And they are very loyal, even though there are few who are coming up with a given group known as CI what? There's a group that has come up with the police who have retired or government, and they are being arrested as early as this. So you are saying because even if normal people decide not to support the corruption anymore, military usually don't support people. It's true. And in Kenya, so far, I think the military is still behind the president, because we have just seen few people who were sacked from the police, and they have formed a group. Of course, recently you saw the arrest of some of them. 3 leaders from that group were arrested, and later on they had their lawyer as Babu Owino, okay? But most of them are still behind the president, because so far, so few are actually resisting whatever is there. Of course, we saw the other day, if you watched my other reaction, we saw the other day that Murkomen was actually lecturing the police that any of them, even the chief or sub-chief, any of them will be seen standing and saying one term and such shenanigans will be actually shown the door. Yeah, if you watched that, it was a meeting at Kajiado, was it? And Murkomen was dressing up in the Masai Shuka. So he clearly lectured them, and none of them resisted. So that depicts that the military in Kenya is still behind the president, okay? So so far, people feel like the president is sneaking out of Kenya again, because Gachagua is almost coming back. And today is Tuesday. Gachagua will be coming back on Thursday morning. And of course, Malala and the rest of the team have been demanding that citizens should go to the JKIA, because they had threatened to arrest him. I think you heard from Sudi, you heard from Murkomen, you heard from the president, you heard from Kindiki. not the president, but Kindiki also said something. Yeah. So from there, people actually think that the president is running away from that, because all the time there is such a thing which is contravening. We've seen the president sneaking out of the country. And of course, when they impeached Gachagua, they thought he's going to be very infamous. However, it seems that he has become very famous, that they're afraid. And whatever he speaks, people listen and celebrate. Even if they are not going to vote for him, they actually celebrate, something which is very dangerous for the country. So, of course, Matiang had to speak about this arrest. But let's listen to Matiang before we proceed on. Okay? Let's listen to Malala.
Kisumu or Mombasa international airports to arrest him from there. We have encouraged our members to also plan to receive him in those respective airports. We want to be very particular and candid on this matter. Take notice that any attempt to arrest Honorable His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, once he lands in the country, will be met by our supporters across. I mean, with Kasongo, anything can happen. Brace yourself.
Okay. So that was what Malala spoke. And I also saw something from, I have seen something from Matiang. Matiang also spoke in Meru. Let me just check for that. Matiang, for once, I saw him speaking in Meru. But maybe before that, because I had gathered receipts to do with the response of various people in parliament in relation to what the president said, let's do that before we come back to the arrest, the Gachagua arrest shenanigans. So let's start here with Millie Ojambo, the bad girl. What does she have to say? So she first started by saying that the president should respect parliamentarians and should actually seek their support all the time, lest he should ask Uhuru Kenyatta. And I don't know what he meant by that. But all of you who have been in politics for long, you understand what she meant, all right? Now let's get to see what her response towards the claims that most of the parliamentarians are corrupt. Now, Millie Ojambo had to say that everyone knows that the temple of corruption is State House. Okay? Now, let's listen to it.
Supply side. We have had, and we keep hearing a lot on supposed or alleged demand. As a governance expert, tell us the supply side. If you are serious about dealing with corruption that is bedeviling this country, let us look at demand and the supply side. And as a Christian, Mr. Speaker, I want to remind us that I was taught a song. Kila mtu atauchukua mzigo wake mwenyewe, na kila mtu atapewa habari zake mwenyewe mbele za Mungu, siku hiyo itakuja. Individual responsibility.
Thank you. Honorable Rindikiri Murwitania.
Thank you, Mr.
So, you understand what Millie Ojambo was actually saying there. He was saying that in matters corruption, let everybody carry their own burden. So what are they trying to say again? Mwandiki boy, welcome in the house. Welcome. Did you understand Millie Ojambo's, we call it analogy. She ended up her speech in analogy and sang the song Kila mtu ataubeba mzigo wake mwenyewe, which means everybody will carry their own burden, okay? So that song was insinuating that every other person in the house, if they have encountered corruption, they'll have to bear their own burdens. And there is room for everybody to become responsible. Now let's get to another response from a different leader. So hello Mwandiki, welcome to the house. Like the video, please. Like the video for me. Okay, let's get to the second response that came from Otiende Amolo here.
As by law and my conscience and my constituents.
Okay, Mwandiki, thank you so much. Thank you so much from Mombasa. I miss Mombasa so much because I once was there teaching at Hamisi Boys. And I really like Mombasa. The weather itself is very warm, and the environment itself with a lot of very interesting activities. So good for music. Mwandiki boy, do you have a channel? Maybe I would be listening to your music then. Oil of Joy Temple with Pastor Kenyatta. Hi, welcome in the house. And there was a preaching against corruption here. Okay, so let's listen to Otiende Amolo. Otiende Amolo. Mwandiki boy, I'll be checking on you. If you have subscribed to this channel, automatically I'll go check on you and I'll see and watch your stuff. Okay. I love music. I also have a music channel known as Music Hills TV. Although I've done very little, I need to collaborate with other people so that I grow in music. Okay. So let me check on what Otiende had to say. Otiende Amolo had to say that let the president summon evidence. Let him collect all evidence about people he has bribed instead of just talking in blanket. Okay. And I think I like the idea because during the time of impeachment, we heard about people being bribed, and we want to know. We also want to know. We also wish to know if there is evidence. Show us. Let's see, and let prosecutions go on so that corruption ends in this country. Because we've talked about it for so long until when you ask even in class students, do you think corruption can end? They just tell you no. In fact, the other day I asked students, is corruption good? And they told me, yes, it is good. It makes you wealthy. you know? So are you seeing what is happening even down within the young people? The young people now believe that through corruption you become rich and you live a good life. So some students told me that they will be as corrupt as possible because it makes them live the life they want. They can live like Murkomen. They can wear a jacket like the president worth 15 million, and they can wear shoes like Murkomen worth, that's what they told me, sincerely. And I didn't tell them anything, like those evidence, I don't know where they gathered from. So let's watch Otiende and listen to what he says.
Sponsored by the executive office of the president.
And
we were told that we needed to pass it to remove Kenya from the grey list. In compliance, and it was signed off by the leader of majority, we complied, it came here, it passed. Where is our fault? Should we have rejected it? Because if we did, then you can blame us. Mr. Speaker, if that passage of the Act and the amendments was procured by any corruption, then that corruption can only come from the executive office of the president. Because they are the ones who wanted it to pass. And if that is so, then three things follow. One, that either the president or someone in his office knows who gave the bribe. Two, the president or someone in his office knows who received that bribe. And three, they know why it was given, because obviously it could not have been for passage. It's even more annoying that it is alleged that some 10 million was given. Do you know 10 million to give the members, that's 28,000. So it's being alleged that members of this house are cheap as 28,000 to pass a law. It's even more annoying. Mr. Speaker, some of us have reputations.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Mwandiki boy. I really will appreciate that boost. I will really appreciate that boost. And I have other two channels, as I've told you, Edutainment for Us TV. I think I've pinned all my channels there. And growing together is one of the best things. So, of course, I'll be also talking about your channels whenever I'm doing my content. I tell people to watch your stuff because there are people who love music, ideally. I've just seen, like, when I was on live and Edutainment channel, there are people watch me from US, from India, and different other places. Maybe once they get there and they see me talking about your music, because I'll watch it and see what it is, then we'll be growing together. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Okay, so you've heard what Otiende has said, and I said it here. Okay. Why is this not charging? Yeah, I said it here that When the president says that we have corrupt officers, is he leaving himself out of the list? This thing is not charging. Your computer has some power, so that I use. Okay, let me use this one. Yeah, so when the president, for example, hey, the phone does not have power. Okay, it has agreed to charge now. When the president says there is corruption and points out to others and leaves himself out, and there are so many things that have been mentioned. Now you can hear what Otiendo is saying, and let's go to another one as I also boost on my...
So when you attend a forum where for the first time in a PG, live TV has been invited, and then you are being accused of that kind of thing, it is so insulting, it is so demeaning, it is so unfortunate. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this, that even if there was such as a position by the president, Standing Order 42 gives him the opportunity to write to you a special message with...
Okay, so let's proceed, guys. But you've seen the wrath that Otiende has actually been hit hard. Otiende has been hit hard by whatever was said. Okay. On the other hand, we also see Junet. Junet has also been on fire in relation to what the president said. Now let's listen to Junet here before we proceed again.
We have the last 10 minutes. I gave you 5, I gave you Chumba 5.
The Speaker aspires to be.
And Junet had to say that they'll deal with the president for demonizing the parliament. Okay?
Parliament is an easy thing. If all of them could try to contest for a seat, even for an MCA seat, that is when they will know what an election means. Well, how difficult it is to come to this house, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, look at the number of people who come out, or the number of people who show interest in every constituency to become members of parliament. There are more than 10 in every constituency. But the people of Kenya, in their own wisdom, decide to bring one person to this house, Mr. Speaker, at a time. So, Mr. Speaker, that is why members of parliament are given the title. We will not sit down when people want to degrade parliament or they want to use parliament as a punching bag, Mr. Speaker, as a bogeyman, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, corruption is a menace in the whole country. It has permeated the whole society. There is corruption in the executive, there is corruption in the judiciary, there is corruption in parliament. Mr. Speaker, there is a way to address the fight about corruption. It's not a wholesome condemnation of a whole group of people who are serving Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of the Mr. Speaker, can you tell this man to leave me alone so I can speak? He has spoken his, and he's spoken on Kamukunji here of what kind of, I don't know what Kamukunji it is. Mr. Speaker, I'm even losing my thoughts because when you are disrupted by NGCDF, Mr. Speaker, I want to take as a minority leader responsibility to go and persuade my party leader to leave that position he has taken on the NGCF. Mr. Speaker, you know, there's a notion that people think CDF is still doing the same work it was doing when it was started. CDF has changed. CDF now is only doing functions that are not devolved. It's doing functions that belong to national government. Education, security issues, and issues that are related to national government. CDF is not doing any devolved function. They are not doing county government functions. Even if, a member said here, even if,
all right, so guys, you can see actually the wrath has been woken up in parliament. And for those of you who have not read the book, The Samaritan, please just take your time and read that book. Or you can also listen to my videos when I'm doing them on Edutainment for Us channel, okay? I have pinned it right there, just below. And that channel will enlighten you about the book, The Samaritan, and what it actually says. Now you see, now these parliamentarians have turned into Ramdai, Ted, Seymour, and Basdeo. Now they are coming up to use the parliament as a place to sanitize themselves. Each one of them now is raising their hands up and pulling the president under the bus, throwing him under the bus, okay? So it is clear that in one way or the other, everyone else is corrupt. But then they are wondering how the president would have come out in the open and addressed the matter to sanitize himself and throw them under the bus. So it's a tit-for-tat game. And the president seems to have known this wrath, and he has left the country for Japan, even though he has been saying that going for such meetings whereby you're just going to meet the 50 heads of states does not give you room for any engagement. It's unnecessary. We also know that the Japan meeting was actually calling upon Musalia Mudavadi. If I'm lying, let's look at this document here. This is the document that proves why why all that was supposed to be there, okay?
The second reason why RUTO was
Kijeli Lindgren. Tell William Ruto. Okay, I'm telling him, of course. Jelly Lindgren is so annoyed that he's telling me, talk hapa. I'm not going to come out of my platform. How do I run away from my own platform? This is the only place where I can say, okay? I can't run away, okay? I will not run away. So the reality is that that meeting was meant for this. Musalia Mudavadi, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, and the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs were supposed to be in Japan, that is on 9th. That when they were there, they were supposed to participate in TICAD 9 preliminary, okay? Then apart from that, they were supposed to meet the Prime Minister of Japan and Mayor of Yokohama City, okay? They were supposed also to participate in public-private business dialogues based on the memorandum that was signed. They were supposed to have another engagement on economic inclusion of forcibly displaced persons in Africa, especially focusing on Dadaab and Kakuma. Okay? Then they were supposed to proceed and also look for economic opportunities in critical services. However, President Ruto had to go. For whatever reasons, we do not know. But we are, of course, as analysts, we believe that he went because he was running away from either the Thursday arrest of Gachagua and also from this wrath of attacks from the parliament. And some people like Jelly Lindgren don't want to hear. They are saying, Toka hapa. If you don't want to hear these things, you are the one to go away from here, because you are free to come here and listen or go away, because who is forcing you to be here and listen to what I'm talking about? In politics, you don't have anything to talk about if you will not talk about what is happening currently, if you will not refer to the future and the history, all right? Now, let's get to hear also what MP Ocheng said, okay? So,
in the 11th Parliament.
MP Ocheng had to say the following. He said that if you know who are stealing, what are you waiting for? Okay? So let's listen to that for those who want to listen, because Kejeli Lindgren knows and doesn't want to hear.
Corruption has been pointed out as the biggest ill you've had. And all those initiatives, the one of Uhuru and Raila, the one now, corruption was at the forefront to be fought. But it disheartens me, Mr. Speaker, for the president to come before members of parliament and tell us that he knows that the governor gave people money. He knows that an MP was given money. And those governors and those MPs are not arrested. What does he want us to do? Are we police? If you're the president and you know those who are stealing, why don't you arrest them?
That is the same question. That is the same question that was asked. If you go read the Samaritan, Nicole, the ethics teacher, had to ask Mosi, why can't you persecute those whom you claim are corrupt? Why can't you persecute them? Okay. Now we see Wandeto. Wandeto also said something on this.
A petition to you.
All right. And I want us to move away from this immediately we finish.
Yes, give Wandeto an opportunity. Wandeto.
Speaker, it is a matter of grave national concern, and that is why you have done the right thing to stop all other business of the House to ensure that members are able to ventilate into the otherwise very serious allegations that have been brought against this House. Mr. Speaker, I am very committed to the principles in the Constitution of integrity, transparency, and good governance. And Mr. Speaker, what we have seen the last 2 weeks, the Prime Minister repeated the same, that there is a lot of bribery and corruption going on in this House. Mr. Speaker, to take you back to the events of 2024, these members of Parliament were nearly killed in this House as they defended democracy and the rule of law. Mr. Speaker, after that, there were some allegations that money had changed hands. I think there was a figure of 2 million that time. And members, some of them even lost their property. Their houses were burnt. Others lost livestock and other things. So, Mr. Speaker, an allegation of bribery against a member, especially the figures that are being touted, even makes it, we feel endangered as you walk the streets. People, first of all, imagine you are some 10 million or some 150 million, and others possibly think you are the worst enemy of the people. Mr. Speaker, you know we have been called MPs. We have been called all manner of names. So as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge you, as the leader of this House, to do whatever it can, Mr. Speaker, to defend the integrity of this House. And Mr. Speaker, we must first of all, and if you allow me, since I had a substantive emotion, Mr. Speaker, add me only 2 minutes so that I finish. Mr. Speaker, it is important that you lead us to restore the dignity of this House. And there are certain things that we must stop doing. First of all, we have what...
All right, fellas. So you've seen a lot of, actually, the wrath from the MPs, just as insinuated in my title, okay? So it seems that indeed the president rattled rattled the snake, and everybody has had to talk. If you continue watching all these MPs, all of them, including Ichungwa, including Osoro, Silvanas, all of them were actually defending themselves. So they seem to want to show that none of them is corrupt, all right? But the reality, ladies and gentlemen, is that most people in Kenya are corrupt. Most. Including the person sitting next to you. They are corrupt. Because when given an opportunity to actually siphon money or hire people from their own tribes and leave alone others, or offer favors to friends and relatives, or impersonate, or siphon funds, or be involved in deals, or even have state capture, or engage in fraud, or participate in misallocation of funds, they will do it. They'll do it. And that is why you see even institutions, people don't actually practice the right thing. They'll tell you, be professional, be professional. But at the end of the day, there are so many things that go around that are questionable. And when you try to question, you are put aside because you do not know what people should do, okay? And you seem to be kierere, if we call in Kenyan. Now, let's get to Jamaican politics. Maybe we'll be having something later for Kenya. But Jamaica, guys, wagwan in the house. People, continue liking the video. I can see about 13 people. but the likes are still 3. So like the video. Remember to like the video. It always appeases, or rather makes me happy to see many likes, thumbs up. So remember to like the video. Jelly Lindgren, you said you are here. Like the video, please, so that we have as many likes as possible. Okay. Oil of Joy Temple with Pastor Kenyatta. Give the like to the video. And so many others. Some are not showing their faces, so I'm not able to see who they are. But like the video. Remember to like the video. Okay. So, of course, now when you look at JP, guys, I hope things are aire right there in Jamaica. Wagwan, wagwan. Now, people from Jamaica, we have seen you blocking the road, both the JLP and PNP guys. And the music hitting the roads, okay? Ajilan, Ajilan. John Morigi, hi, welcome to the house. Like the video, please. Alright, guys. Mina see a lot of blockages right there in Jamaica. Mina see no roads free for people to pass by, but everybody is on the roads, alright? So wagwan, guys. Ajilan, like the video. John Murigi, welcome to the house and like the video. Okay. So we can see the roads in Jamaica blocked by everybody, JLP, PNP, the different parties, supporters blocking the roads on nomination day, okay? So it was nomination day yesterday in Jamaica. Of course, you know the elections are happening in September, early September. So people are actually being nominated. Yesterday was the nomination day, after which they'll continue to do some rallies before they stop and then elections be conducted. And we wish them the best. We hope they'll pick the best leaders, because Jamaica is actually running very fast, ahead of Kenya by far. They are doing very great in terms of tourism, policing, and entertainment and everything else. And this is one of the islands that is surrounded by waters in the Caribbean. So they indeed go by policies of America, but they are really doing great, okay? With Holiness having been the prime minister for all that long, and they are hoping to have him go back, we don't know. No. Mina wait for whoever will come in, okay? So we can see all that happening. And you can see different parties. The red, the orange, a different party. The green as a different party. That is JLP. So guys, I'm just imagining the Kenyan situation whereby you'll find maybe ODM and Kenya Kwanza, or now currently is about maybe the People's PNP, PNU, and whichever party, all right? Do you imagine that in Kenya we can have such different supporters from different parties having a very peaceful road move, or rather road move that is not met with violence? I'm waiting for that day whereby Kenya will just have supporters by different parties walking on the same roads to different directions but peacefully. So let's see that example from Jamaica, because I've been following the politics of Jamaica. There is a time there was a sort of violence coming out from the, the presenters. Samuel Ndegwa. Okay, how are you? Welcome in the house, and like the video, please. Remember to like the video. Samuel Ndegwa, I'm very fine. How are you? Okay, so we saw the JLP's crowd, Crawford, Crawford JLP, eyeing the 2000 margin victory in Manchester. Okay, and we wish her all the best. We hope that she will be doing it, going the hard way in Jamaica. But in Kenya, people are waiting for Gachagwa's arrival on Thursday. Jelly Lindgren is like, the police in Kenya have stopped shouting Gen Zs. We are not so sure because there is no meeting yet. Jelly Lindgren. We don't have a meeting yet to prove that, because the police always do based on what Murkomen tells them. And if they are promised some cash, why not? You've heard how the House of the Parliament is really defending what they are doing. Okay, so just look at this JLP Crawford in JLP Jamaica is actually looking forward to the victory. Okay.
Well, this campaign is even much better because now the people saw what I promised. I delivered on those promises, delivered even more. So now we have an even larger support base. So what were some of the things you've accomplished that you think merit your return to office? Definitely the road infrastructure has seen significant improvement. Never before has any member of parliament been able to repair more than 40 roads in one single term. Yes. And what is left undone in the office of the member of parliament? Well, nothing is left undone, just to improve and expand on what we've started.
All right. So Jelly is saying that the wife lives in Kenya and he knows a lot. Okay. But the reality, Jelly, is that the police have not stopped shutting the Gen Zs. It's only that we have not seen opportune meetings, like we have not yet seen the meetings where the Gen Zs are actually meeting. But then recently, if you watched something to do with the rally, the youth rally at Kakamega, I don't know whether we watched Jelly, because if you did watch, then you saw the Gen Zs being given an opportunity to question the president. And if you saw, one of my reactions, I did that actually, talking about how the Gen Zs had to demand accountability and also tell the president to listen on the ground. And so far, we have not seen any abduction yet. So maybe we believe that he has changed his tactics and is deciding to actually not use the barbaric aspect he was proving to use there before. Or we actually feel like he has now begun to listen to the citizens and not to his advisors, because we know his advisors are Farouk and there is Farouk and there is Sudi. And Sudi traveled to USA. I don't know what he went to do and what he will receive from there, though he received backlash from there. So we are not yet aware about what exactly will go on. So guys, remember to like the video, because I've seen a lot of people coming and they are going with the like. Just like the video, subscribe to the channel and share my videos. Go back and check on other political analysis I've done. And you can recommend and advise me what things to do. You know, I've touched on different countries. Of course, yesterday I did a lot of Zambia. I talked about Zambia in relation to Kenya. And today I've talked just briefly about Jamaica and Kenya. And I'm hoping that every day it's a new day to grow in political analysis. So thank you so much, and keep liking the video. I only have 4 likes. We have 14 people watching. So like the video, please. Like the video as we go through the analysis. How I wish all the African leaders will be like Ibrahim Traore, okay? When you see what Ibrahim Traore does is to actually make his country a different world all the same, okay? Like if you looked at 8 days before, there was a trending video about Ibrahim Traore finding an old school friend begging on the streets, and he did something outstanding, you know, and it was actually placed on social media, and I was like, can this happen in Kenya? You know, sometimes we even school with people, and when they get to have a better life, they forget all about us. You know, they'll be like, hapa ni wapi? Hapa ni wapi? Hapa ni wapi? That's what they'll tell you, okay? It's like, hapa ni wapi? Ulikuwa unatuambia tusipige kelele, hapa ni wapi? Ulikuwa unajifanya unasoma sana, hapa ni wapi? So that's exactly what they do. But when you look at Ibrahim Traore, he's just a different breed of an African. I don't know how many Africans are like him, but I would wish that indeed the African leaders just eliminate the selfishness and they become better. Yeah? They become better. And then consideration of peace and elimination of selfishness. Because when you look at even what I've just been presenting about the parliamentarians and what they are arguing currently, they are now saying they had, just like we also had. So who did what? Okay, but that time they were not speaking at all. So we are seeing that soldiers and police in Jamaica are moving as PNP blocks, JLP motorcades. We've seen there. But the movement was peaceful, as you can see. Everything was peaceful right there. And we can see that when we look at Jamaican elections, actually, we have 3 reasons PNP will shock JLP and win. And some of the things you will understand maybe when you watch some of the videos and political analysis that is being done by fellow Jamaican analysts. Maybe you can look at Grand Food News, for example. I watch him. There is also Jamaica Politics Uncovered. I keep watching them. And so many others, okay? So many others that do a lot of stuff right there in Jamaica. And every brand new day is a learning day, fellas. So always invited new ideas. And that's why when somebody comes here, maybe annoyed and they're saying, shut up, I say, okay, you are emotionally charged, no problem, you'll cool down. And with time, by the time we end our discussion, they are just like, okay, you are doing well. And I'm like, okay, thank God that I was able to not actually begin shouting. Instead, I began laughing, okay? Instead, I begin laughing because it is what it is. Sometimes politics is a very tricky thing. And you find that some people are charged with emotions when you touch some things. When you talk, some are like, you are favoring this, or you are talking about this when you don't know, or what you are saying is not right, okay? But it is what it is, okay? And I will finish with the last one. I think there is a man who had to plead guilty in SIM swapping fraud case. You remember the former Nairobi OCS, Samson Talam? And there was a case that was pending just after the death of Ojwang. So there was a man who pleaded guilty in swim swap. I don't know whether that is true or it's just a cover-up. We are not yet sure because in Kenya anything is possible. Also, we are aware about the major march that will be done from JKIA to CBA to the town on Thursday. So people should avoid those areas again because of what is going to happen. I'm just imagining there is a graduation at Muranga and people will be traveling new from the shags. And if this is going to happen, what will be unfolding? I'm not so sure about what will be unfolding, but let's check on this. 19 people on the platform, please like the video. I'll be so happy if I just see 19 likes. Pop. to turn me to 23 likes. I'll be so happy. But meanwhile, let's look at this man that was pleading guilty for the swimsuit fraud case in Kenya. Okay.
A man has pleaded guilty to secured the lump sum be the rightful owner. Dennis Masavi Musimi admitted before the court that the he illegally obtained line was later used to solicit money from members of the public for his personal gain. Musimi was charged alongside Amos Nzomo Kimanzi and James Mutemi Munyithia, who denied the charges and are set to face full trial. The three jointly faced a count of computer fraud contrary to Section 26 of the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes for allegedly conspiring between 16th and 19th June 2025 to commit the offense. In addition to the joint charge, James Mutemi Munyithia faced a separate count of unlawful use of an identity card belonging to another person.
All right, you heard that, right? Okay, so I still remind you to like the video. That's why I'm waiting. Like the video. There are 11 likes there that I have not received yet. 11 people watching, only 4 likes. Please do me a favor. Do me a favor and like the video. I'm waiting for those likes. Like the video, please. Like the video. Like the video. Like the video, please. Okay. Like the video. I'm waiting for the likes. Like the video. 16 people watching, but we have only 4 likes. And I've exhausted what I was supposed to discuss today. But I'm just wondering, why are people not liking the video? Please, just spare one, it's not even 1 minute. A second, weka thumbs up. Weka thumbs up hapo. We only have 4 likes. But the people watching are 11. They were 20. They are just going down to 11 now. Like the video before you leave because I'm almost closing the chapter. 15 people. Like the video, please. Like the video for me. Like the video, please.
Looks like a cheetah. Or a leopard. You can be certain, Honorable Speaker, if you not as a favor to those serving in the executive, we do it on behalf of
What
the
are you
people.
doing?
Therefore, I want first to encourage members that nothing and nobody should instill fear in you in doing your work as members of Parliament. Because you are duly elected by the people of Kenya to exercise oversight even over the executive, even the office of the president, and even the president himself. That is why this House has powers under this constitution to impeach those in the executive, and those in the executive can do nothing to remove you from this House. Absolutely nothing. Because that is how we crafted our constitution, Honorable Speaker. I've listened to many of the contributions, and let me take particular interest to what the Honorable Tienda Omolo said. That we have a Powers and Privileges Committee in this House, Honorable Speaker, which fortunately is chaired by none other than yourself. This Powers and Privileges Committee has the powers and a singular mandate to receive complaints, as Honorable Tienda Omolo said, from whatever quarter against any member of Parliament who may engage in any manner of impropriety, whether within the precincts of Parliament or outside Parliament, Honorable Speaker. It is not fair to condemn the House in its entirety, Honorable Speaker. We have young members like Honorable Njeri, Honorable Joseph, who just joined this House the other day, Honorable Speaker. We have older members like the Honorable Kainan, the father of the House, who has been here for a long time, and yourself.
All right. So I was waiting for the likes, but it seems people have decided to be mean with them. But if you feel within your heart that you can give a like or support the channel, consider supporting it. Bye bye for now and good night. Teresa.